is at the very least genderqueer, gender fluid, bigender, agender, right? Non-binary. So that makes God queer. They don't like me when I say that. They do not, what? But you have to be polarizing. That's how people listen or completely mute you. So you either attract your people or you repel your people with your message. Public speaking 101, right? So why are we doing this workshop? Why? Who can tell me why is this workshop important? I keep skipping them because they were the keynote speaker. I don't want to be rude, but I know you spoke yesterday. That's why I don't want to keep.
You have a better appreciation of what people do.
Who are the others, though?
In my opinion, everybody who's not white, but at the same time, I think black people in this country have a
I think we have to center black people. I think today is about really I call dark chocolate people. I think that's why. Because they're not here also. And there's a reason. Why do you think they're not here? Why do you think black people avoid spaces like this?
I think it's hard for people to kind of out themselves by coming to public events like this.
Is that the reason?
Situation.
So everyone is outing themselves here, including you?
Well, in a way, because you're meeting other people and you're.
So are you outing yourself by volunteering for this?
I would say in a little bit. I didn't like in part way I am because I'm willing to come and to participate and to wear my flag.
So outing yourself as what? Is
as
the question.
trans, as part of the trans community, and as part of who I am here, Hispanic, and things like that.
Who else are you? Who else can you? I like that line of thing. Who else can you out yourself as when you come to spaces like this? An ally, of course. You out yourself as an ally. Black folks don't want that. The person who needs to learn about black trans kids is not the black trans child, right? It's not the Hispanic. You know what I mean? I'm not attacking you. I also teach very passionately. So I've been teaching. I was commander in the U.S. Air Force, so I do come, with a lot of energy. But yeah, the black transgender person is not who I want to talk to. It's their lived experience I'm trying to sell, which I really should not be anyway, because I'm not even of trans experience. I'm the next best thing as a birthing parent, right? But I'm technically, this mic should not be in my hand. If you can find one of them, I'll tell you a story, true story. I went to, I don't think that was a good picture. I was licking my tongue. I gotta fix that. I went to San Francisco to give a talk for the National Transgender Health Summit in May. And there was a little meetup for all the parents of trans kids, all 4 of us met up. Of course, I was the black one. Usually I'm the one person representing the real West Coast of Africa, but one of the doctors, Dr. Monica, was the one that started the group, and she said, you know what, Dr. Lulu, I have a lot of white patients, and I have a lot of white trans patients. She's a pediatrician. And I have a good number of Hispanic patients. She lives in Oregon. And I have a good number of Hispanic trans patients as well. And I have a lot of black patients, but I don't have any black trans patients. How true is that observation? What do you think? I'm going to ask you, Alexa.
I think it's fairly true.
Alexis.
There's a really big divide.
So do you think it's true that observation? She just, it was like a moment for her. She's like, oh my God, I don't have any black trans patients.
There are like 5 therapists in Houston that I serve as a resource for. Basically, it's all white, or it's Hispanic.
I like that. But do you think it's true? What's her observation? Do you think it's true was the question? And obviously, I want diverse voices. That's why I'm asking so on this, because you are the speaker. Not a bad thing, but you are a keynote speaker. Do you think the observation is true? I have a lot of black patients. I don't have any black trans patients. It was a moment of, oh my God.
I think that they might not openly identify that way, but I wouldn't doubt that there
You get a car. You get a car. Why do you think? But it was true for her. She's never seen a black trans patient. So you know what I said to her? I said, ma'am, they are hiding where? In plain sight. They come into your office every day, baby. But they're not going to raise up their hands. Good. That's why we're doing this workshop. Because they're not going to raise their hands. Now, the $1,000,000 question is, why wouldn't they raise their hands? Diaz. Because they're there in that clinic.
Like you mentioned in the first, when you first started against, they don't know how they're going to react. It's scary.
I love it. It's a pediatric practice. Who takes the child to the doctor?
Mother.
Did y'all see what I said? A pediatrician said to her trans kid? How many trans kids' parents are not pediatricians? More or less? What do you think? Are there more kids whose parents are not pediatricians, or are there less kids whose parents are not pediatricians? What do you think?
Less.
There are more children whose parents are not pediatricians.
Correct.
And I'm a pediatrician. And my first TED talk was about childhood suicide. And one of the things I mentioned was, particularly in the transgender community, there's a higher rate of suicide. And my kid said, Mom, I'm trans. And I was like, trans what? The audacity of my own hypocrisy. Did y'all get that? The audacity of being a queer person. I was married to my ex-wife when we found out that my kid was still at that time non-binary. And both of us were like, what is that? What's that? What's non-binary? She's like, I don't know. I don't know. Yo, what's non-binary? What do you think my kid said? What do you think my kid said?
Did your kid try to explain it to you?
I don't know. You tell me. What do you think my kid said? My kid's an award-winning musician from Stanford. What do you think my kid said? Full scholarship academics, top 10 in his class, in her class. What do you think she said?
I think she would try to reassure you they were here.
What do you think she said? Yo, what's non-binary? What do you think she said? Good try. What do you think she said? Good one. What do you think she said? Crickets. She did not say anything. I raised that kid to not respond to nonsense. And she did not respond, because that was a nonsense question. I deserved that, the crickets I got. That's why we're doing this workshop. Not because you're going to have black trans kids, but because you might have black trans. They might be your neighbor, and you never know. They're not going to raise their hands, porque no, because they don't want the judgment that the lady that wanted me to come on her podcast this morning was already about to dish. Oh, God said, no. I haven't seen you die and in heaven yet. And when I die, if I see you in the same place that I'm going to be, we're going to have a chit-chat. So why are we in the same place? Wherever that place is. So, that's why we're doing the workshop. It's a bunch of words. Don't read them. Just read the 142%. That's all. Don't read anything else. Okay, read everything else. I don't care. 42% of black trans students do not feel safe. And one of the things I talked about in my second TED Talk is inviting you into their world is all about safety. And my kid said, Mom, there's no way. And I did a whole talk in San Francisco based on only my child's quotes. It was a 90-minute workshop. Every single slide was a quote from my trans kid. That's how powerful this kid is in my life. She's the recluse of all recluses. But her words pierce. And I made the whole talk based on her quotes only. She said, Mom, I could have ever told anyone else. She said, first of all, you were my pediatrician, which is true. She came to my practice. Second of all, no! Black kids are not going to raise their hands. And then she said, because I'm going to be speaking at the American Academy of Pediatrics in October. She said, I want you to tell all the pediatricians in America that I absolve all of them from the responsibility of creating a safe space in the office. Because I said, the kids are not going to raise their hand because the doctors are not creating safe spaces. No. The doctor can create all the safe spaces in the world in their office. If the child comes in with their parent, they're not going to say anything because of that mess that I messed up. Does that make sense? So, you are going to have to get creative. I don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to have to get creative because the truth is actually, my child was outed by their middle brother. At the graduation from Stanford, my kid was getting the award of excellence from the College of Music and had to play a piece. And the person who was making the announcement was like, they this and they that and they this. I was like, wait, son, I thought you're the only one getting the award. Who are all these people this man is talking about? True story. And then my middle kid was like, I think it's because X is non-binary. I'm like, who's that? And I asked my mom, she was like, I don't know. And I was like, I don't know. That's how that conversation started. I was like, who are these people? Most of our university dorms are split by sex. So I was forced to live for 3 years on the half of the building that related to the sex of my ID rather than how I identify. This quote is not a black person, but it's everybody that's trans, right? It's everybody that's trans. So, intersectionality, what is it? I love my slides. They're so fun. So, what is the definition of, what is intersectionality? Who knows? What is it? Yes.
So intersectionality is having one or multiple identities from an oppressed group intersecting together. So in this case, when we were black and transgender, that intersection, how those different levels of oppression impact that person and play together to have that complex relationship that's unique to them for their identity.
You're getting another card. I love it. Congratulations. Very, very well said. So, the queen of intersectionality is Queen Kimberly Crenshaw. And she, in 1989, made that quote based on her TED Talk. She spoke about black women, and really the original talk was about black women, the intersectionality of black women. So being a black woman. But the two words there is discrimination and privilege. I love those two words because, like my friend over here said, there's gender, there's race, there's sexuality, there's ability, there's class, there's age, right? All of those things, and then some. Now, I'm going to give you all a little peek into some of my own intersectional factors. And then we'll talk about yours. So, I wake up in the morning and I see myself as all of these people, right? But when I walk in the room, who do you see? Be honest. If I walked in the room right now, without the microphone and the fancy makeup, who do you see? Thank you. Who do you see? Who sees anything else besides a black woman? If I wasn't the speaker, if I was just minding my business, just walking up and down the hallway, who would see anything else? Would you see me as a disabled veteran? Would you see the African in me? Would you see my queerness? Would you see my queerness? There's the pin there. Well, this could be my ally. Remember now. I love what they said. They said allyship. I love that because that is a declaration. I'm an ally, minimum of an ally to walk into the space. Minimum. An ally to be, an ally want to be. but allies. Because one of the things that we forget in the queer space is we should also be allies. We forget that. We should be allies for each other. There's a lot of biphobia. I'm proudly bisexual. But there's a lot of biphobia in the queer space. What the fuck is that? And once I turned 50, I started cussing. What the fuck is that? Okay. So, I am black. I am African. Most people don't realize that in Africa, there's some people that are not black. Right? So I'm black, I'm African, I'm a woman, and queer. Those are the top 4. I'm also single and disabled and a mom and a physician. Of those 8 intersectional factors, which of them do you think is a privilege? Which of those 8 is a privilege in today's world? We're talking about intersectionality, and then we talked about discrimination and privilege. Remember we said that? Which of those 8 is a privilege? Physician, good. What else? Anything else is a privilege?
Depending on what part of the country.
In
you're
some
veteran.
spaces, right?
Yes.
Thank you. I was looking at that. Yes, in some spaces, veteran. In some spaces, veteran. Here's the funny thing about physician. In America, physician, sure, I can come into spaces. Cisgender, passing, I can roll into spaces, right? When I walk into the physician space, I immediately become a black female physician. When I speak, oh, I'm a black female immigrant physician. You see that? You see how I'm going down?
Yeah.
Okay. Amongst the immigrants, I'm Nigerian. Oh, I'm up. Amongst the physicians, I'm a woman. I'm down. Amongst all the women, I'm black. I'm down. Amongst the black women, I'm an immigrant. I'm down. You see how that works? So yes, when it comes to even privilege, when I come to Nigeria, I'm queer. I'm definitely all the way in the dumpster. 14 years imprisonment for being queer in Nigeria. 14 years. Amongst the queers, I'm a woman. And that's why when I walk into spaces and the head of the DEI is a white gay man, I want to die. I don't know anything about DEIB. And that's the truth. And I digress. So, I want somebody to share their intersectional factors. Are you in or not? I don't want to leave you out, yeah, because I'm an includer. One of my top 5 qualities is inclusion. So I don't like to leave people out, and I don't want you to feel like I'm leaving you out. So talk to me. What are your intersectional factors based on, you just heard mine?
Single.
Okay? Don't copy mine.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So do the inside ones.
Okay.
Inside.
Latinx, migrant, trans woman, well, heterosexualized, I'm not queer.
Okay.
As far as, I guess those are more like the non-privileged ones, and then if I want to like recognize my privilege,
Yes.
it would be like passing, I speak fluent English, I have a college education.
I love that. Yes. That speaking of English is so powerful. But we just talked about how my language is really superior, right, to English, right? Spanish is superior to English. But they're not going to tell you that. That's why the lingua franca in America is English. It should be indigenous, but it's not. But I love things. Thank you. Thank you so much. What about you? No.
Me?
Yes. Me.
White trans man.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Which of those is a privilege?
White and a man. And then one of the professors.
I'll take that.
Privilege with that.
Yes. I mean, we have to still see the privileges. Thank you. We have to be able to see our privileges, honey. Do you have any you want to share with us? Either privilege, it doesn't matter, whichever one.
Privilege is also like white passing means no as well as I generally am perceived as cis, even though I'm trans.
So cis passing, I love that. Yeah, just like I'm cis, but I'm also, you know what I mean? Like, there are spaces where, as a cis passing, come on in, right? Roll on in. Wait, you're trans? No. I got my mouth. Yeah, yes. Wait. What do you mean? So you're trans binary, which I learned that. I love that. Go ahead.
I'm also college educated.
Yes.
And I come from, at least currently a family that has good financial support.
I like that. Yes. Maybe both parents in some cases, people look down on you. That's why single is on there, right? Because they look down on you for being single. Like, okay. Or you can go and get killed by your husband. Okay, so thank you. Thank you so much. How was the exercise? Was good? Yeah, it helps you think about those things you're taking for granted. You want to share yours?
Non-binary, bisexual, married, Hispanic.
I love that. Which of them is not a privilege?
Non-binary.
I'll take that. What else?
Bisexual.
What else? Is it time?
Just got notification.
Oh, okay. I need to know which time because I will talk till tomorrow.
I would say in some spaces Hispanic, but in other places, a privilege.
This is what we need to be doing, becoming aware. Awareness, you see that one of my slides, I talk about awareness. So this is for the Black trans child. I have about 30 of these babies on here. Just let me know anyone that you do not agree with. So the first 3 are personal. You can't truly see them except for the race because we want to see race. In my country, we don't have race problems. We have ethnicity problems. So that's why I put ethnicity there. Because I'm Igbo in Nigeria. That's a whole different conversation. But everybody's black. So I can't really see you coming skin color wise, if that makes any sense. So that's why I put ethnicity there. The first non-individual is family and community support, just to help you know where family, the role family plays. And so when, I don't want anybody to share painful memories, but the truth is a lot of families, they're like, you're queer, you're like, when are you gonna die again? Like, hurry up and die, you're an embarrassment, kind of thing, right? Socioeconomic, somebody said something about socioeconomic, was it you? Yes, that was so insightful, so insightful. Barriers to education. Why do you think Black trans people have, that's a good one. What do you think about Black trans and barriers to education? Why did Dr. Lulu put that on there?
There's just so many different factors in your life that are conspiring to kind of hold you back.
Right.
And like, you're facing prejudice because of your race and because of your gender, and maybe education is a way for you to get out and be your true self, but maybe you never get to that point because you got kicked out of high school and you're having to make it on your own.
Got kicked out from where?
From your home.
Uh-huh.
And so you've got
Maybe not even at high school.
maybe younger.
Because kids, I love this question. What is the age where people become aware of their gender? What's the age? Give me one number, anyone.
7 years old, I think for sure.
Okay, good start. 18 months to 2 years old. You saw one of my slides, just kidding. But I'm a pediatrician, so 18 months, and it's funny, I gave the talk and I said that in a room full of people in San Francisco. One therapist said that's a lie. Said it out loud. I was like, wow. No. I said, don't say that, because I'm gonna take off my earrings, they'll come. I was like, okay, let me be good today. I'm a Christian today. Don't say no to me if you don't know the correct thing. Because chances are I am saying it because I know. 18 months to 2 years of age, the average cisgendered child knows their gender. The thing that's hard for y'all to is because we're socialized based on our genitals, the other G, right? And so we forget that a 2-year-old girl's like, I'm a girl, I'm 2. Especially girls, because we rock. A girl, cis girl at 2 years of age knows. And that means the trans girl knows. But here's the trick though. Do they have the verbiage at 2 to say I'm not a girl? At 2. It's a tricky question. That's a verbiage, that's what I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
And besides, what will you say to your, okay, well, assuming you're me, what will you say to your precious 2-year-old girl who tells you, Mom, I'm not a girl? Exactly. You get my point now, right? Why most people just don't say anything. And then because of trauma, one second, because of trauma, we repress things. Chances are, like all the people that come on my podcast tell me, I didn't want to wear the dress with the pigtails. I didn't want it. I knew I didn't want it. I did not want those socks with the little things, no. And I said, my mom, no. And what did she say? Put on your dress and let's go, right? Not because the child doesn't know themselves. And that's why the Human Rights Campaign has the ICP. Y'all know about ICP, insistent, consistent, and persistent. Yes?
I don't wanna be the therapist, but I feel like there's something on that with verbiage, because I feel like at 2, we don't know our gender, we understand what gender is, and we accept.
You're socialized, that's why I said that. That's exactly why I said that.
We accept what
We're
we're
telling,
doing.
yes, exact. We're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
That they are being socialized to wear the dress. So I don't care what they say because we're like, you don't know what you're saying. What are you saying? Shut up and put on your pants and let's go, right? That's what we're saying to them because we're not believing that they know, which is why the governor is telling you that you're grooming your child. The same thing. Because they don't believe that a 2-year-old child will know. It's hard to believe science. Suddenly science is the enemy. And look at religious, oh my God, yeah. So these are all the factors of the kids. If you're a child and you're in Florida today and you're trans, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? You can't even say anything. If you're in Texas, I was like, are you sure they're doing this stuff? My kid was like, Mom, are you sure they're doing this stuff in Texas? It says Texas A&M. Like, okay, so we're gonna say gay. I'm gonna go and give it a try. I don't know. My kid was like, yeah. Mom, are you sure this is happening in Texas? Geographical location plays a part. And don't be doomed. Don't be confused because even California is not that much ahead. Don't be thinking that just because it's Texas. You know what I mean? Everybody. Access to legal protections. It's just like it doesn't even exist. Language, we talked about language just now, right? And communication. Nobody believes them when they tell them anyway. They don't believe them. So they're just like, I'm not going to say anything. And you all are their support networks. You all are the ambassadors. You're going to say, I listened to Dr. Lulu and I know that every black person that walks past you is suspect. Every is suspect. You know what Lizzo said? What did Lizzo say? We're all gay. I love that. We're all gay. But too many of us dare not. That doesn't mean you're not, right? All right. Somebody said on LinkedIn, said just because 0.3% of trans people, 0.1 to 0.3% of them regret, doesn't mean that they're not trans. And the reasons why they regret are not the reasons you're thinking, not you. Access to healthcare, risk for mental health challenges, and we don't have to raise hands. This is my favorite one. That's the one that's going to set us free. Everyone who is here, God knows your stories of resilience and strength. Everyone who is here and owning their shit, as it were, transness. Only God knows the resilience and the strength that it took for you to get here today. You, for instance, you know what I mean? Like, let's just be honest. You, for instance, living authentically. It takes a lot. You for even saying that you're bi, because nobody wants to say they're bi around here. So I take what I say, I'm the one person you know that has an ex-husband and an ex-wife, and I'm very proud of it. Because I'm not saying a bad marriage. I don't care who I'm married to. I'm very proud of it. Is that an intersectional factor? It is. It is. Every time I say, by show of hands, no one wants to admit that they're married to a man and a woman, but I will. Just keep me moving. It's called strength. So, We're doing very well because we're almost done. Consequences of intersectionality. So I think we've already we pretty much, I'll just go from table to table and then we'll just skip my slides. How about that? All right, we'll start here. Consequences. Give me one of intersectional. We talked about intersectional factors. We kind of sort of know what we're talking about. What do you think is one consequence for the black trans person? We're centering them, okay?
Well, murder rate.
Okay.
Much
Homicide,
higher.
yeah. That's a consequence of just being who they are. No, you can't take somebody else's point. Okay, you said suicide? Okay, my bad, I'm so sorry. Homicide. So homicide, okay, thank you. My bad. Okay.
You'll have a hard time fitting in around white trans people and black cis people, and so you're kind of in between both of those extremes.
What's the word for that in today's psychology? I know they will know, but what's the word?
Alienation?
I'll take that. But what's the word?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Minority stress. It's stressful being them. What you just said. If their mother is me, they're not accepting. You know what I mean? They're not affirming. Their school is not affirming. Their pastor is not affirming. No one is affirming. So no surprises, right? That we have the suicide rate, for instance. I love how you said that. They all want to be seen and heard and affirmed. That's it. That's all she wrote. Anything else? Any other consequence? I'll give you all some trips.
I'm gonna wait until you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
To me, the biggest consequence of intersectionality is it makes it very, very difficult to make progress because the minute you start to make progress one place, they switch it to the other part of the intersectionality. And it just sticks things in place.
I love it. You can't use, and like I said, when I walk in the space, you just see a black woman anyway. So what do? I suppress all the others so that maybe I can be allowed to breathe. Because I don't have to talk about being queer. I don't know how they're going to accept that. I don't have to talk about, you know what I mean? Like, because all you see is a black woman anyway. I love that perspective. Very good. So, harassment, bullying, negative treatment from teachers, staff, students. I mean, who does that? Us. Okay? Trans women of color, that's my kid, and that's half of y'all here. I know, I don't know if you're Hispanic.
I'm white.
Okay, yeah, okay, well, I'm just saying as an example, because I know we mentioned white passing, so you just never know, right? But trans women of color, I mean, trans men are not exempt. Look at that. The last one there says, trans men reports high rates of harassment. I'm not going to ask you because that's not a fair question, but that is a fair assessment based on the study that was done. We already know your privileged intersectional factors, right? But like we said, when you walk into the men's space, if anyone smells that you're trans, right away, right? Like those Wheel of Fortune, you lose all your money, right? All your credibility. And trans women, sexual assault and physical assault. I just wonder why people just want to assault. You know what? You don't know something about something and you want to antagonize it. I've had a lot of thoughts about that. Like if you're not trans, why should you have an opinion? If you're trans, then you don't have an opinion. So really, nobody should be having an opinion. Does that make sense? Does that, okay, I'm just saying. If you're not black, if you don't wear heels, you just bring up any topic you like. If you don't wear dresses, you can't have an opinion. Yet we do. So these numbers are pretty distressing. I mean, I know you probably know what I'm going to be talking about. It's all negative, negative, negative. Just negative on campus, negative housing, negative everything. Feel less accepted. Lower sense of belonging. They don't feel like they belong. Especially the non-binary. And I'm going to show you in a minute. I was like, oh my God, but there's maybe I can't get it. No, there it is. Non-binary students feel highly visible and vulnerable in the sense that we can see you, right? But also, look at that, invisible. They're visible because we want to put them, okay, you, Let me just go with you. They're visible because we want to put them in this space of girl as an example. So we see you as girl. But then you're invisible because wait, it says often foreign or unrecognizable. Like, what do you mean you're not binary? Child, please, right? It's like my kid. What is non-binary? What's that mean? Invisible, hiding in plain sight, right? A black transgender person. That sounds like a keynote address. I think I'm gonna explore that. Maybe a book, hiding in plain sight. State of spaces. These ones were a little bit distressing that some of the students felt affirmed and some did not. So for the professors in the space, you got your work cut out for you. You know? This one says my dissertation advisor, who is aware of my gender identity, refers to me exclusively. I mean, that's crazy. They know, but they chose just not to respect it. It's very distressing. First year students rate themselves lower in the areas of physical health because of all that drama. And then you wonder why the suicide rates are so high. So just look at higher levels, that's it. Everything else it doesn't matter. I was an active duty Air Force commander at Lackland. And one of the studies that we did, I don't know, does the red light show? No? One of the studies that we did showed that most of the kids on base who attempted suicide had one word in all of their suicide notes. I want y'all to read that for the next 30 seconds and tell me what one word you think was present in every single suicide note. Maria, what am I doing with time? Okay, cool. Loneliness. Who said that? You get a car. Loneliness was the one word. There's a whole study that was done in 2015 across the bases. Because people on base are like with thousands of people, right? Yet they feel lonely. Same thing with your black trans students. Same thing with your trans students, really. I love that you picked that word. Anybody else? Any other word in there? Because somebody else said another word earlier today. Who said alienation earlier on today? Was it you? Okay. So you see it on there, right? Yeah. So, like I said, I think I'm preaching to the choir. The rest of the stuff, I think I was really interested in how they were more likely to seek out. Hold on, no, come back, Birdie. Come back, Birdie. Come back. More likely that one. More likely to seek out. Or benefit from mental health care. And also, I want you to read that last part for me, because that just killed me. And also vulnerable.
Excuse me. And also vulnerable to insensitive, incompetent, and even destructive interventions by mental health care providers.
By the people who were sent. You go take care of them, right? What's the other word for that? Conversion therapy. That's the other word. I don't mind saying it. And by the way, just so y'all know, this is my first time going through my slides. Yours. I've just schemed for the words that I wanted to see and I just saw them. So, all right, Birdie. Bye-bye, Birdie. Yes. So, even those who were sent to take care of them. I want us to read this one. Even among those that do have membership of some sort, the students' organizations tended to be predominantly cisgender people. So trans students have a difficult time meeting other trans people. Somebody said that earlier today. It's a cis world. Yeah. Even in the LGBTQ space, maybe it's a gay world. And I am with the people who say we should separate the gender from the sexuality already. Because they don't really belong. And half of the parents I coach, that's what they're worried about. They're thinking sexuality is gender. And all of them say, well, my child is trans. I don't want him to have sex. Like literally, that is like, my child said they're trans. I'm worried about getting an STD. my child is trans. I don't want him to sleep over. Like, wait, what? Right? But it's true. These are they don't know what they don't know, and yet they have an opinion. Okay, all right. So, I think we'll skip that. This one I thought was interesting. So, how many of y'all trans students here are into any kind of activism? Usually it's everyone, right?
Yeah.
And that's my kid, yeah. It's by nature of who you are. You're drawn to activism. So thank you for your service. But I wanted to mention that because that is protesting. They are the ones at the picket lines. Because you have to do the work, unfortunately. And it's about visibility and representation, right? So other kids can see you and say, wait, I can do that. That's what I love about that. I can do that. Okay? I can do that. Mentoring, support. This is my kid's quote. Mom, if I don't do it, who will? Because I was like, why you got it? Please come home. I used to say that. One of my books is called How to Teach Your Children About Racism. And the story behind that is the kids went running in the neighborhood during the lockdown and someone called the police on them. The police followed them home. And so my kid was like, my youngest said, Mom, why do you always tell us to come back? I said, because Trayvon Martin didn't come back. And so I was like, please come back. So that day was, I said, why are you going? I was like, Mom, if I don't do it, who will? It is what it is. I have to do what I have to do. So thank you all for your service. All right. So my thing is awareness. Like we talked about awareness earlier on. If you know better, then you do better. That's it. So y'all, go out and I'm telling you, every single black person is suspect. Because they have to work so hard to fit into societal norms. So you miss them. You miss them. But if you're living authentically, you very well might find a couple who come towards you. But the power of racism is so strong. And even if they wanted to come out, which I hate that word, they won't. We just talked about representation, right? Just being able to see people like them. People always tell me, thank you so much for speaking up, because I wish my mom did that. I'm like, I didn't always, but I appreciate it. Once you know better, you do better. I don't have to, people are like, wait, you just found out about a year ago? Yes, how long do you want me to take? It takes a day, or an hour. My whole prayer was, God, please don't make him gay, don't make him gay, don't make him gay. It was my prayer to God, because I was like, he's too feminine. And I used to say, stop acting like a girl. And she'd be like, Mom, how? I said, the way you're acting, that's how girls act. You're not a girl. That's what I said all the time. So I tell people the things that I did, not because, because if I know better, then I do better. Like if I was still doing that today, then come for my head, right? But I have to tell my story authentically. I'd have no shame. Because maybe someone else will hear it and say, you know what? I have people telling me all the time, please can you talk to my mother? Please talk to my dad. And I tell them, no, actually. Because I'm only working with parents who want to. I'm not here to save everybody. I don't have that much bandwidth. I will burn out. And that won't be good for those who want to do the work, right? So if your mom wants to support you, have them call me, is what I say. I can show them how I did it. If your mom doesn't want to support you, I don't know the words to say to her, because that's just too much for me, if that makes any sense. We're changing positions, so I think it's time, right? All right, almost. So all of the stuff we're talking about, just be transparent, be authentic, be open, be kind. That's what Ellen says, right? Be kind to each other. Just be kind. Updating policies about gender, markers, things like that. Culturally responsive support. It's not enough to just say people of color. Unfortunately, it doesn't describe anyone, actually. Are you a person of color? Do you see yourself? Oh, there go that person of color. Is that how you see yourself? That's somebody put that there again to confuse us. This is what they do. Let's give them that so they can hush. What's a people of color? What is that? So we don't do people of color. So we do black, dark chocolate. The training must be mandatory. Do y'all have that in place in this school?
We're not from here.
Oh, you're not from here?
But they just got rid of our training, and it wasn't mandatory.
Yeah, because it's Texas, right? Isn't there the no sick? Oh yeah, they stopped. The governor, did he sign the thing?
Yeah.
The gender something at schools? Or was it Florida? No. Somebody signed something about DEIB.
Yeah.
There's
That's
no
your-
DEI,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we can't do anything about race.
So why are y'all doing this?
Because we can't not do anything.
There's the activist coming out. Yes! I love it! Absolutely, because it cannot just be quiet. That's what we want. And that means we've won. That's what I love about trans people. They rock. They find ways to transmit. The coconut web. Did y'all hear about that? I just heard about it recently. I was like, what? Okay. But I love it. Okay. So, curriculum should be changed. Student training, faculty training. These are all saying the same thing. Gender name, pronouns. These are all saying the same thing. The schools should be updated. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's people don't vote, or the wrong people are voting, or they're not counting the votes. I live in the big city called Helotes, and we heard at the last election that they didn't even count Helotes at all. So I don't know. There's a guy whose first name is Jerry and last name is Mandarin. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. You know, I don't know if any of these laws will ever change. And so I'm doing what people like me do. I'm moving to San Diego in September. I'm going to a place where I can have access to the schools. At least I can talk about it. My kid goes off to college in August, and I'm out. I'm moving to California. I'm moving to California. I'll let y'all stay here and fight. I'll send you a card. Trans-specific spaces, that's important because, like we said, when they go into the spaces, they don't feel like they're centered anyway. It's just mostly, you know, gay or whatever, right? Not trans. Housing, you know that. Restrooms, have y'all heard about the Refuge app? I think I mentioned that there. Come back. Did you hear about the Refuge app?
Oh,
Is it
yeah,
there?
yeah, it like shows you where the.
Yes! Have you heard? Tell them about that. I love that app.
I've just heard about it, I haven't used it.
Yes, but tell them what it is.
It helps you find the nearest gender neutral bathrooms to you.
Yes, like if you're traveling, you can actually use the app to find gender neutral bathrooms. How cool. I just thought that was neat. Yes. So for sports, oh my God, I don't know what to say. Anybody here play sports? My own family chat group, my brother thought it was funny to post something about Mike Tyson fighting in women's boxing. Who can guess what I did when I saw that post? A video about, well, if they want to do gender equality, trans, whatever, then what if Mike Tyson fought in the women's boxing? Who can guess what I did?
I can't say for sure, but I'm gonna guess your brother did.
I left the chat. I might or might not have cussed them out. I'm not going to confirm that. I may have, I don't know. But I left the chat group with after some choice words. So I try to censor Black-owned resources for y'all to find information. I know everybody knows Marsha P. Johnson Institute. Everybody knows that, but there are others. There are others like the Black Travel Fund, Trans Travel Fund, which I never even knew existed. So I can give y'all a copy of all of these because I did not know that they had so many. So many Black trans men incorporated. I was so excited to see that because nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about it. And of course I squeeze myself in there because am I Black? Yes. Yes. I have a good sense of humor. All right. I'll take questions as I just scroll through my resources. But thank you all so much for letting me come and chit chat with you. Lots and lots of resources. I put local as well. Pride essay. Y'all probably know all of these, and maybe y'all probably know some more that I didn't add there. But this is what ChatGPT gave me. So I was like, ChatGPT, yo, is there anything there about Dr. Lulu? She was like, being an AI language model. I'm like, shut up. Oh my goodness, Equality Texas, those are my people. Love them. So this Black Trans Advocacy, that's what I was talking about. They had their 10th anniversary conference in Dallas, Texas in April. It was so good. I did not know that there was such a space where just Black trans people congregated. There were 1,000 or more of them. I did check all the phone numbers there. They're working. But yeah, so just ask me any questions. I'll take them. If you don't have any questions, then just take a survey for me, which will come up in about 2 seconds. But yeah, thank you so much for having me. Yes, thank you. All right, please take a survey for me, please. If this talk helped in any which way, please take a survey for me, and then you will get access to that little PDF of 10 things your Black trans student wants you to know. Well, please do that survey, and when you're done, please raise up your hand so I can thank you personally for taking the survey. I have another slide, but go ahead, you had a question?
Yeah. Is
You want the mic?
this, will you share your
Yes.
presentation with everyone?
Yes.
If, and sending it to.
I was gonna send it to you. Remember, I gave you the option, but then you said thumb drive, so I said, okay, I'll bring a
Yeah,
thumb drive.
well, thumb drive for you.
For this, okay, cool. I'll do that. Oh yeah.
To share with
Oh,
everyone.
absolutely, absolutely, yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
No, you're very welcome.
If we have a flip phone, take this.
Please, when you're done doing the survey, please raise up your hand so I can thank you personally. I really appreciate it. And I'll let you have the mic. And, okay, now
You're doing good.
Okay, give me one more. How many more seconds do I have on the time?
You got.
Time. Okay, good. All right. So while we're talking about this, I'm just going to share a few stories with y'all. So one of the things that I think as a Black cisgender presenting, because recently I realized that I might be genderqueer. I just realized that. I was like, what? I posted on social media and everyone was like, oh my God, me too. I'm like, wait, what? So y'all have been hiding there. But I think I've made a decision, even though I do feel like I probably have some genderqueerness going on here. I think my cisgenderness will take me to spaces that I need to be in. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is just the story of me telling my dad when I was 16 that I liked girls and boys. And my dad is a Catholic. He's a red cap wearing Nigerian Igbo chief. And he just about had a heart attack. He didn't have it. He just almost had it. But then he said something to me. He said, it's a phase. Who can guess what I did?
Stop the conversation.
I believed him. When you're 16, you believe your parents. I believed him. And then 26 years of being in limbo. Don't look at her too much. It's a phase. Stop looking at her boobs. God, stop. Like I'm telling myself, right? Stop. Oh my God. You want to go to hell? I'm telling myself. These are conversations I'm having myself. Oh my God, don't look at her too much. She's going to feel somehow. Right? So our words do matter for the future parents in space. Our words do matter. You might not even think is anything, but your child might think is everything. So one of the things I tell parents is you're not the most important person in your child's life. Who's a parent here? Any parents? Do you think you're the most important person in your child's life?
Well, I have young children, so kind of yes.
Yes. So a lot of parents think that they are the most important person in their child's life. You're not the most important person. Who is the most important person in your child's life? Yes. Who is the most important person in your life?
My kids.
No, that's the wrong answer. No, because you cannot do anything. Why did they tell you to put your mask first on the plane? You think they don't know that you have a kid? Why do you think they told you to put your mask on first? But if your kid is more important, usually I use examples that people can relate with. But, so yeah, Dr. Lulu is talking junk, right? She said, I'm not the most important person in my child's life. No, you're not. I'll tell you what you are, though. You are the most influential. There's a difference. You are your child's first influencer. That is different from being important in this context. Dressing up your child, breastfeeding your child, that's different. I'm talking about influence. And so you say some words, you just think, oh, los escuchan, right? They can hear. All right, are y'all done? Okay, thank you. So I'm going to put the next slide. Thank you so much for those of you who did. So this is my next book. I'm very proud of it. If you would like to sign up for just to be informed when it drops, please take that little QR code. And I'll tell you another story. One of the things that parents forget when they have a child who's either queer or trans is the siblings. How many kids you got? I'm just picking on you because you said that. Any other parents in the room? Okay, good. Oh, you got. So how many kids you get?
I'm about to have two. I have one and another one.
Okay, 1.5 will do. What are your thoughts about your child's siblings? A lot of parents forget that. They forget that there's a sibling who went from a big brother to a big sister, or a big sister to a big brother, or, I'm also trans, right? The siblings' voice matters. The good news, though, is they are more accepting anyway. When I told them, I said, so such and such is trans. Okay. I'm like, wait, come back here. What do you mean, okay? Yes, Mom, I'm sure. What do you want me to say? I'm like, aren't you shocked? No? I'm like, what? No, Mom. I mean, if that's what she is, if she's more comfortable, I'm like, that's better than that. We are the ones that are stuck in this mindset of, what are people going to say? That's actually what it is that we struggle with, right? What's the church going to say? What's my mama going to say? So, that book, please tell someone about it. And I think, one more. I think y'all are the wrong people for this because it's a gender identity challenge. I think y'all probably know about that, but tell people about it. The reason I put the QR code is just so people can just tell people that it does exist. It's a free 3-day challenge that I'm going to be doing every 6 weeks just so that parents can learn. And then we're having the first ever parents conference, May 11, 2024. There's never been one for parents of gender expansive youth, which I like to call gender creative youth. But yeah, I think that's really it. Okay, so say it loud. I'm Black, trans, and proud. I think the Black trans children, when I write my emails and my little email thing, I always end up with PS, your child is waiting. I really think that they're waiting for people like me to get to their parents, but also they're waiting for people like me to talk to y'all so y'all can talk to other people. Because that's how we become an influencer, right? That's how you use thought leadership. You tell people and then they tell other people. So please tell someone, anyone, about Dr. Lulu, so I don't get burned out, because I do need to get to the people before the kids get to the ledge. That's my thing. Other than that, it's a wrap. Thank you.
Let's take a short break. Everybody up. We've been sitting here for a while. And we'll come back in here.